In 45 days, South Korea will have a new government and with it a clean slate. But some things never change. The threat from North Korea being one, the rising tensions with Japan and China being another. The Korean National Diplomatic Academy has gone so far as to say that the incoming government faces one of the most difficult diplomatic environments in the world in the 21st century. Joining us now to help us break down those challenges is lawmaker Hwang Jin-ha of the ruling Saenuri Party. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here with you, and I can deliver some kind of my thinking and also my personal opinion to the audiences.
We look forward to that. Now, you are co-president of the National Assembly's Peace, Unification, Diplomacy, Security Forum, and you are a member of the Foreign Affairs, Trade, and Unification Committee, which makes you uniquely qualified to try and tackle some of these issues we're going to talk about today. First question. What is the most urgent priority that needs to be addressed by the incoming government in the field of foreign affairs and national security?
I think first priority should go to the enhancing our relationship between North and South Korea on the basis of mutual confidence and mutual trust. President-elect Park Geun-hye is making every effort to make this could be realized. And the second one is our fostering effort to enhance our relationship between four major powers. Those are very significantly important countries for us to maintain stability and the peace on the Korean Peninsula, and fostering our relationship between four countries can make prosper in this region as well. And so that could be second. And thirdly, Korea should make additional effort and continuously improving our efforts to contribute for the international peace and the prosperity of the world community.
Now, you mentioned President-elect Park. She's been stressing this need for a trust-building process with the North. I'm curious, though, what trust building looks like when you're talking about Pyongyang, a regime that, quite frankly, trusts no one and has given the international community no reason to trust it. Where do you start with North Korea as it pertains to the trust-building process?
Actually, it's a very difficult kind of the issue to be resolved, but we should not give up those kind of effort. That should be continued until we can persuade North Korea to be responsible and the regime. And their responsibility is to contribute for the stability and the peace on the Korean Peninsula. And that's the only way that can positively work for the regime's survivability as well. And so we should make that kind of effort, not only in between North and South Korea, and with our neighboring countries, and together with the international community. And so hopefully, and consequently, we hope North Korea could change their current position to be a responsible regime for the international security.
And you talk about the neighboring countries. The six-party talks were going on over 5 years now since the last talks. I think it's been almost 4 years since the North walked away from the six-party talks. Is it now finally the time to abandon any hope of the six-party talks resuming? Where do you stand on that?
As the international community is strongly condemning and also discouraging North Korea to continue their kind of nuclear ambition and the provocative actions destabilizing the region and the international peace. And so, as I said, we should not give up those kind of efforts, even though it's very, very kind of difficult to positively expect. But the answer is our continued effort to persuade North Korea, unless they change and their responsible attitude toward the international community and peace of the region, there isn't any hope for the North Korean regime. That is the most important thing to North Korea to realize. That is international community's respond, and international community's the kind of strong recommendation to North Korean leadership.
I guess the question was realistically, when you're talking about the North Korean nuclear program, realistically, I mean, they're not ever going to give that up, are they? I mean, if that's where they stand, there's really no room for negotiation one way or the other, correct?
Yes, as I said, it's a very difficult question to be resolved. However, if we can think what does have North Korea to negotiate with outside of the North Korean regime. So they are having only military capabilities and nuclear ambition and missile kind of capabilities, except they don't have any capabilities in any other kind of means to negotiate and to talk with the other countries. And so that's why to discourage them, keep continuing that kind of effort doesn't help at all. And also they're changing kind of attitude and positive kind of policy toward the international community is the only way they can survive. And so if we keep continuing that kind of effort, hopefully, eventually, North Korea can realize those kind of the atmosphere of the world community. And so we should keep it. Otherwise, we don't have many other alternatives.
There aren't many options. I think there's no question about that. U.S. Senator John Kerry, who's likely going to succeed Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State in the U.S., really an advocate of engaging the North, engaging in direct dialogue with the North. We may see that change once he takes office, but I'm curious your thoughts on that. Are you an advocate of John Kerry's position of engaging in talks with the North?
We should keep continuing discouraging and encouraging North Korea as well. First one is discouraging previous activities was not helpful to North Korean regime, and encouraging them if they could change their policy and formal attitude, then there will be a very much kind of a positive reaction from the international community.
I mean, do you expect that under the Obama administration, though, with Kerry becoming
dual kind of policy should be put on North Korea, and so not just discouraging, but also any kind we can find that can encourage North Korea to reform and to change their kind of former attitudes about policies.
And the wild card in all of this, of course, is a North Korean provocation. Most experts say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it happens. I'm curious, from your point of view, hypothetically, let's say North Korea carries out a provocation in the first few months of President-elect Park Geun-hye's administration. How would you advise her to respond to something similar to what we saw on Yeonpyeong Island back in 2010?
That the prior kind of the demonstration of strong will to deter war and maintaining the peace on the Korean Peninsula is our first priority. And second thing is our genuine thinking to North Korea to make better countries, to be responsible, and we are ready to support those kind of the policy toward North Korea should they have kind of positive changes.
And as I said at the top, the challenges facing President-elect Park are immense right now. We don't know how all these things are going to play out. So this is a game of hypotheticals, but it is worth talking about. And you talked about preventing war from breaking out. A recent survey had nearly 80% of South Koreans thinking that war was a possibility between the North and South. So it's obviously on the South Korean people's minds. Military readiness emerged as a big issue in the wake of the Yeonpyeong attack, as well as the Cheonan attack in 2010. What needs to be done to ensure that South Korea is ready in the event of another provocation? As I said, military readiness was a big concern, a big issue following those two attacks. What needs to be done moving forward?
I'm recommending that the kind of strong will and the resolve should be demonstrated to deter any provocative actions from the North. And secondly, should that kind of deterrence could fail, that we should demonstrate our kind of strong enough kind of capability to fully retaliate and to respond those kind of provocative actions. I hope not that those kind of provocation could recur, but that's why I want to emphasize prior demonstration of our strong will together with necessarily together with our allied country, United States.
security-wise, getting back to military readiness, over the Lee Myung-bak administration, do you think things have improved? Is the military more prepared now for attacks like this? A lack of communication, a lack of sort of response after those attacks was criticized. Have things improved in the 2+ year period since then?
Frankly speaking, during the Lee Myung-bak administration and the Yeonpyeong Island, artillery shell and the Cheonan naval vessels, sinking. At the time, our military was fully recognized the kind of ROA, rules of ROE, rules of engagement. But in that case, we would rather think our safety, our own safety. And so, as we fully recognize the kind of rules of engagement, we didn't enoughly respond to that. And so, Yeonpyeong Island and Cheonan naval vessels sinking made firm reserve, and also our self defense kind of resolution. And so, should it occur again, then I think North Korea can fully understand what kind of resolve and what kind of capability the Korean military has.
I mean, what I hear you saying is if North Korea attacks again, the response from South Korea this time may be in the form of a military strike. Is that what you're saying?
Whatever, it could be included, to deter and to respond to those kind of provocation activities.
And I guess the fear there is escalation. I mean, that this is going to escalate into a full-blown war, as 80% of Koreans are.
Dual efforts should be made, and not simply kind of military kind of actions, but also diplomatic actions should be added. And so not to escalate those kind of tensions even further. And so limited, however, fully demonstrating our self-defense resolve.
Let's talk a little bit about the National Security Council. It's likely going to be reestablished under President-elect Park Geun-hye's administration. That's the plan. What sort of role and effect can we expect out of that council once it is established and once it's up and running?
The principal kind of responsibility could be to recognize and integrate what are the national security related issues from all the ministries and agencies together, and prioritizing it, and to prepare and to respond to that, what kind of capabilities we should consolidate from every ministries and agencies. And hopefully they can harmonize and consolidate all the efforts and all the capabilities from the all intergovernmental level and the agencies level together.
You're talking about making things more efficient in the long run.
Yes, efficient and kind of effective kind of functions could be consolidated.
You're talking about making things efficient. That's going to be a top priority for the South Korean government leading up to 2015, the end of 2015, when South Korea-U.S. Combined Forces Command is going to be dissolved. December of that year, 2015. Korean and U.S. military authorities have begun working-level discussions to establish a new command structure. Looking ahead to 2015, what do you think is going to be the best choice for Korea's national security in terms of whether or not to actually dissolve that command or to continue that relationship with the U.S.? What's the best option?
To make a better kind of solution, I think it's very important for us to understand what are the realities of on Korean Peninsula. We are still under armistice in the condition. It's not the end of war yet. And armistice condition first, and the continued threats are ongoing from the north. And so to deter war, as we said, on the Korean Peninsula, to maintain the stability, we should keep kind of most effective and valuable military structure on the Korean Peninsula. Current Combined Forces Command was the most effective and also worked kind of warfighting command as proven. And so we understand, year 2015, we both U.S. and Korea kind of agreed to transfer operational control authority. However, dismantling CFC is not the only way to resolve it. As we understood, that was most effectively worked kind of command structure on the Korean Peninsula, and also a very symbolic gesture of the Iraq and U.S. combined defense efforts. It should be re-examined. What was the effectiveness of those commands, and what should be remedy action could be made to make even stronger, as kind of to be more effective kind of command structure. And so I don't think dismantling is the only way, but we should find any other better kind of the answer to alternate or to maintain it.
And I guess that's the question. The underlying question here is South Korea ready to take on that burden should it come to that? I mean, is South Korea ready to take on that extra burden?
In security area, they are not kind of the overwhelming kind of readiness. Whenever we are ready or enough ready is required to deter war. Deterring war is better than fighting war and winning the war. That's why deterring war is the best option that we should take.
You recently proposed the Act on the Unification Special Economic Zone. That was last year. Give us some more details, if you can, about that act and the significance of it moving forward.
Actually, that's kind of the plot for my constituents. As I came from Paju, most of northwest the region, it's a borderline area. And so to develop that area and also prepare for unification period, I thought it might be appropriate to develop my constituents to be better situation, to overwhelming, to make better kind of the prospering kind of readiness. And also, secondly, we should make kind of gradual efforts and making kind of infra system to exchange our efforts and our communications and our kind of peoples together with North Korea and South Korea, and to support the casing industrial complex. I think it was appropriate to establish that kind of exclusive zone to exchange and to enhance our relationship. And so that's why I'm working those kind of efforts. And hopefully, together with that kind of the act, the other areas like Cheolwon and Yangyang, Sokcho area in the east, and Gangwon Island in the west should be worked together.
In the short and the long term, economic cooperation with the North, as we're seeing at the Kaesong Industrial Complex, what does that do for South Korea's long-term goals of unification? How does it sort of change the relationship there with North Korea?
We are hoping, through Kaesong Industrial Complex and together with, designed new unification special economic zone, can work together to increase our exchange between North and South, and teaching and educating North Korea how to make a better kind of industries and techniques as well, as a kind of the interim preparedness for the unification period.
Do want to ask you, you delivered a keynote address in November at the International Conference of Asian Political Parties in Azerbaijan, and you mentioned there that peace on the Korean Peninsula should be considered an international issue. Explain that, if you would, for us.
We are ready and we'll be making sure, and we'll put continuous effort to enhance our relationship between North and South. To make kind of stable and peaceful peninsula and region. Not simply North Korea can make that happen and realized. And so together with the international community, we should work on that. And so that's my strong kind of emphasis and a strong proposal to the international community to support us to make even important peninsula to work together to be a peaceful area. And the responses were very positive. We had about 27 countries representatives there, and it was reflected on the Baku Declaration. And so we should work on that, and we are ready to work together with the international community to make a peaceful region.
You talk about working together. What is not happening now as far as help from the international community that you would like to see change, perhaps? What else could be done by the international community to help South Korea with North Korea?
Frankly speaking, I'm regretting that 4 major powers and the other international community doesn't positively help, even though we need their kind of strong support to make a stable region and a peaceful peninsula in the international community and organizations, like the toward the nuclear ambition of the North and continued missile test in the North. Even though we have kind of United Nations resolution when they were negotiating and cooperating, their consolidated efforts are not enough. And so it has not been passed to be fully push North Korea to fully persuade North Korea not to do that so and not to continue that kind of provocative actions.
And that is certainly something that Park Geun-hye is going to have to tackle in the coming years. One quick question, we're running out of time, but broadly speaking, when you look at President-elect Park Geun-hye in the next 5 years, what are your expectations on the foreign policy and the security front during her administration?
I'm strongly hoping that during the Park Geun-hye administration, she could be admired as a former president who make a solid foundation to make a peaceful region and a peaceful kind of peninsula on the Korean peninsula. Secondly, making better kind of relationship between major powers. And thirdly, Korea could do their best to contribute and to prosper international peace and international prosperity. That's my hope, and I'll be continuously supportive for successful conclusion.
Mr. Hwang, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
And thank you for watching. A quick reminder to check out our webpage and leave us a comment, and to follow us on Twitter. See you next week after 10.